So, welcome back to Betide Studio. And in this video, we are going to solve the most common issues that you guys are having with Epic Online Services, from logging to creating sessions and finding sessions and the level not opening and things like that. Now, although we try to cover most important topics, like most important issues in that most guys are having, but there are a few specific things that we would miss out, and for that we request you to join Discord, and we would be more than happy to help you out. And yeah, joining Discord is free, so the Discord group is very helpful. I think that's what the word is. So yeah, the group is very helpful, and they would love to help you out. Anyways, thanks a lot to all our Patreons. We have crossed 15 Patreons now, and thanks a lot for the support, and that means a lot to me. And shout out to you all, guys. I'm just using a lot of ants, recording a video after many days. So something is just pulling over me. Let's leave that topic aside. We are continuing our uh, uploading schedule from tomorrow, so we will have continuous videos, or I will try at least to put continuous videos. And we will have prefab, EOS, Steam, and a lot of different topics: Lyra, dedicated servers, game launchers, patchers, Android videos. So a lot of is in line. I have more than 45 videos in already created, but I have to edit them. So I have a lot of stock. So that's all. Let's just get started. The issues are given in the description with timestamp. I think that will come on YouTube also, so you can just go to your issue and just get it solved. Thanks a lot for watching. Meet you in the next one. Oops, that I should say in the end, but again, thank you. Before starting, shout out to all the Patreons. Thanks a lot for supporting us, and yep, love you guys. And yeah, if you want, and if you can support us, join us on Patreon, and let's just get started. So the first thing that we need to do for the login, for instance, your logging is not working, or basically the Dev portal is not opening. It's like Dev login thing is not opening if you are passing the login thing. Then you just need to go to your open this. Let's close all the tabs. Hmm. And let's go to the game instance.h and game instance.cpp. Now, in the login with EOS thing, the most common error that I have seen is the passing of wrong login type. It should be either account portal or persistent authorization, not the device ID. Now, the device ID cannot be logged in using this method because device ID is a part of the Epic Online Services. Oh, sorry, yeah, Epic Online Services, and not a part of Epic Account Services. Now, this login with EOS links your account to a account service. That is, like, you have to use Epic's account to log in because it's using the online subsystem of Unreal. Now, if you want to add device ID, either you will have to get a plugin from Redpoint Games or EEL Dev, or we are also coming up with a plugin very soon. That would be for indies, so it would be very lessly priced, like $5, I think. Yeah. So you will have to download the SDK from the website itself and implement device ID login. But that said, you can only have persistent auth or Def tool. Now, if you just want to check what type of login is allowed, you can just go to login. And so as you can see on this EOS manager login, we have a few types, that is exchange code that will help you log in using the Epic launcher. Then we have the developer, that is the EOS auth tool. We have direct username password and not generally available. That's like, I don't think anyone would be going to use this password thing. And then we have the account portal and the persistent auth. Now, if you use any other type of login, it will give you unable to log in user due to missing auth parameters, missing auth parameters, and just written false, because device ID login and these types of login like Google login and Facebook login are not implemented in Epic Online Services. We are planning to make a video on how to implement the SDK itself, but it's something that I'm working on still. So that is the first thing. Next is, if you have already put account portal and then then it's also not coming, then what the issue can be, you have to go to online subsystem EOS and just check that the default artifact name matches the artifact name for your client. Now, because we have dedicated servers also, we have two artifacts, the server artifact and the client artifact. I have seen a lot of times that users are trying to put default artifact as the server artifact and then trying to run client. That will fail because servers do not require login. So you will have to match the artifact. This should not be empty at any point. So you will have to match that. And also encryption key is important. I will just remove this and put some random keys here. And if I put this and it says encryption key must contain 64 hex contain, it will remove that. Now I have seen in a few stages while helping people on call that encryption key was empty, and they ignored the message. They thought that it had saved something like that, and they did not put the work to solve that error. So always check the encryption key. It should always have a value. You can have a 64 hexadecimal generator and put any value. That doesn't matter because it stays locally on the computer. So just verify that. And the general rule is artifact values should be correct. Just re-verify. But I till now I have not seen any person putting the wrong values because it's copy pasting. So that is not something that I would force. But yeah, just check your artifact values also if nothing works and overlays are valid, then yeah, this is not something I would be going to work on. Then the next issue is creating session does not create a session that comes up on the dev portal. Now this thing, there would be have been three cases of this, and let's talk about all. The first one is the empty default artifact name. So again, the most common is the art default artifact was empty and was not matching the client's artifact. The second one was, let's go to the create session node, create a login, find session, join session, create EOS session. So ignore these if you have not followed the video of Epic Online Service, sorry, PlayFab, but plus Epic Online Services, then these two values would be empty. For these two values won't be there. But if you have, then these two would be. Now this line, adding the search keywords. A lot of guys, what they do is they think that we are setting the keyword to search keywords, and then they try to search for random high. Let me open up the dev portal. Here is the account portal. Presuming, just presume that I have created a lobby. Let's go to attributes, and in the search keywords, as you can see, my second search keyword is this. So what users consume is that like searching this word here would, like, this is the attribute, and if you search for this you will get the session, but that is not true. You do not need to search for search keywords, but the word is search keywords without that underscore. And if you search for with underscore, then the session would not come up. So you have to have like search it without underscore, and also the condition should not be equal to any random thing. So don't search for random high or whatever session name you have put. Always search for www, although I have not created any session, so it says no matchmaking session found. Now the third thing is that I have checked, very common, is LAN server is set to true. Now when you set the is LAN server to true, then the session would be locally created and the Epic Online Services will not know about that session. So always remember to turn this off. Now you would be seeing a lot of things are off, false, because that were done for dedicated servers, but that does not concern player to player. So for player to player, you need to have the lobbies. You will have to need the presence and everything. The lobbies can be false if you're creating matchmaking sessions, but yeah. And is the dedicated server should always be false for player sessions if you are creating. Just keep these things in mind. The next issue. This is about the find session and join. Let's come down here. Now, find session and join. If you are finding a session and it's not coming up in the browser, the most common problem that I have seen is this thing missing, the max search result. And if it is present, then the next issue is they are not setting any search query. Now, as you can see, we have a search query to set the lobbies to false. According to the documentation of Epic Online Services, there should be a query setting at all times. If the query settings is empty, you will not get any session back from Epic Online Services. So although we have most people would be having this query setting, but we have it like commented because we have a query setting for region info. Now if you are not followed the playfab video, again you will have this query setting where you are finding lobbies and doing that. So if you are like having you are if you have not followed that, you should have it. Now the next thing is this search parameter dot empty should never be below, it should be on the top here. So that because when we set this to empty, all the settings that you have set before that, it will become empty or null. So you should have it below, oh sorry, on the top and not below. For instance, if this LAN query was set to false, it should be below, not above the search parameters, because if it was set here, search parameters would set it to empty. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. Next, if you have created a dedicated server session and that's not coming up in the browser, so for that, let's go to the find. Now that thing comes up on the find session completed node. Let's go to there, and this thing, the issue is now I presume that most of you would have not followed the playfab video, so you don't know about this logic. But if you remember, we are checking the uh, number of sessions and checking if the first session is valid or not. Now the checking method is wrong in Unreal Engine. No, I will not say it's wrong. It's good for player to player, but not good for dedicated servers. And even if there is a session found, it will not show you in the browser. So what you need to do is you will just need to make a local int64 length variable and just check the session results dot num. So get the online search result, that is whatever you get the result, get the search result from it and get the number. And after you get the number, just check, just print that length, and it will tell you that yeah, you are finding sessions, but the sessions were not valid, and that's why it was not showing you on the on the browser, like on the in game. Now, so what we did is we just checked if this normal length is greater than 0. So if any session is found, we will return that, we will join that, irrespective of the point that that session is valid or not, because dedicated servers do not are not considered valid sessions according to Unreal Engine. So that's why. And if that is not the case, then we just say server not found, and we just broadcast to playfab, or in your case you will create a session. So that is the case. Now let's come to the next point. Now in few cases I have seen that the join session, for instance, you joined a session but that session does not come up. Now we will talk about three reasons or why that is happening. The first reason is, let's go to the join thing. We have this on join session completed. So as you can see, we have a lot of code for playfab, but again, this is the main line. We are client traveling to another session, like to an IP. In also in EOS case also, we are getting a resolved string for traveling, and we are passing it and client traveling, but that is not like correct if you're testing it locally for dedicated servers. I have seen a lot of guys running dedicated servers on the same PC on which they are testing, which will always be false, because if you like the dedicated server sends a IP to the website, like the to the EOS, and that IP is exactly same as yours, and that's why you won't be able to join that IP. So the client travel by, like, how can you join your own IP address? So that's why you won't be able to do that. So just remember, always try to test with two computers, not one. Now the second thing is, with player to player, if you're joining and it's opening the main menu, then understand that either the you are having empty sessions. Now what is empty sessions? Empty session basically means that either you were play testing and it created a few sessions on the matchmaking session. So here's the dev portal. For instance, you created a session. Always, like, before playing a match, if you are going to press on that find match session, always check how many sessions you have on the dev portal. If you have more than one, that means some empty session got created, or some, like, you were play testing and it got some empty sessions which is now not valid, but dev portal takes a few minutes to remove that, like 10 minutes I think, or 13 minutes about, to remove that session. And because in our current logic we always join the first session in the list, and the first session is the not valid session, and that's why it opens up the lobby level or the main menu, and it gives you an error that the host was not valid or the connection is not valid. The uh, simple fix for that is, on every session you can have, on logout you can have a destroy session node. For instance, you can just check if the current player is the host or not. Let's go to the main session. Oops, sorry for that sound. Yeah. And then let's go to the main game instance, and we can have a destroy session custom logic here. Destroy eos session, and we can pass the destroy session node here. Now, although we have not covered this destroy session node, but you can check the code from here. It's very easy. Basically, we get the world. I will share the code in the description. So we just check the main and we just destroy the session. Now, why destroying session is important if you are closing the Unreal Engine is because, or else, like, Epic Games will auto destroy it, but after 13 minutes. And if you are playtesting it very quickly, you won't be able to join the session. And sometimes it creates two sessions and only one is valid. So you should make sure to destroy the session. Although, sorry for not covering that, but I will cover it in an upcoming video. But yeah, so that is it for this video, I think. I have covered all the common FAQs that users are having, and all the main common problems. Again, I would say always check the artifact name. Always check whether you have filled the artifact correctly or not. Always check if the find session logic is not empty. And we have a lot of guys on Discord, and we really help a lot of guys. So if you want you to get help for free, you can just join Discord. We are happy to help you. And that is it for this video. Meet you in the next one, and I'm trying to be consistent. Unreal Engine Neo is out. You can just check that out and support us on Patreon if you can. Thank you.